Welcome to the webinar on getting started in consulting. All of this is just based on my personal experience, and I'm just sharing it with you, offering value to help you guys on your consulting journey, just for educational purposes. I'm not licensed as financial, tax, or legal advisor, and also there's no personal guarantee of results or success. But I found that if you take the information and apply it, and you just take more action, you get more results. And then you again are responsible for your own actions. So we're going to learn in this webinar, we're going to go over consulting, what the field is, what exactly is a consultant, how you can use consulting to enhance your goal, getting started, some of the top skill sets needed to set you apart from the crowd and also to guarantee your success. And then some little bit of pearls of wisdom from my personal experience, from my clients' experience, a lot of success story. And then you'll hear about a program that we have for you guys. I curated a lot of the questions that you guys sent to me, and then I compiled it into some of the top 3 questions to help you guys get started. So I'm going to break it down a little bit, have 10 minutes short intro. I'm going to do 15, 20 minutes of pure value add content. So I came from a very humble beginnings. From an early age, all through high school, I was always the outsider. I was very entrepreneurial, and a series of events happened to me beginning when I was 11 years old. Grew up with a lot of uncertainty. So that uncertainty prepared me for a lot of the opportunities post 9/11 and 2008, and now COVID-19. So I learned that the only way to create that amount of certainty were 4 realizations. One, I was never going to be dependent upon anyone or anything. I had to be able to create my own success, my own free. So I wasn't going to depend on a job, the government, Social Security. I wasn't going to depend on boss or corporation. So that led me to always have a backup plan. So I diversify my income sources. Right now I have 8 to 9 sources of income. So in these days of age, not only do you have to diversify your assets, but you have to diversify your sources of income. 3, always have multiple streams of passive income. Passive meaning that you get paid whether you work or not. And I learned that to be financially successful, that would solve a lot of your problems. It's not going to solve all of it, but it will solve or give you the resources to solve some of the other problems. How many of you grew up with the story, work hard, go to school, get grades so you can get a good job? Majority of people here grew up with that story. And in a way, we have a lot of skill sets as physicians that can both help and hinder us when it comes to looking for alternative careers. We're the skill sets that will make us successful when looking for alternative careers. I'll also go over some of the mindsets that limit us when we're trying to transition. You're going to have to find which skill set will help you propel you and which skill sets and mindsets hinder you, and you'll have to work on those. And also through my coaching program or through my clients, I help them identify limiting beliefs and help them with their mindsets. So I went to Baylor for medical school. I went to Rice University. I was part of the MD PhD program, got a PhD in bioengineering. And my entrepreneurial venture started during my second year of medical school when I was focused on real estate and stocks. And I spent 4 years growing those companies to the point where by the time I was 29 years old, that was my last year of medical school, I had achieved financial freedom. And so I didn't really have to work for anybody, and medicine became my backup plan. Nevertheless, all of my mentors and all my close associates all strongly encouraged me to pursue the conventional route. I remember going through the list of all of the specialties and not really particularly enthusiastic or passionate about any of them. I settled on orthopedics because that was just the highest paying profession. So I meshed into that at Rutgers, and then just the 40 plus hours and the 120 plus hour work week. And it was just, I wasn't in control of my time or my life. I was trading my life for money. So on the day that Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, I mustered up the courage, walked into my chairman's office and resigned on the spot. And so that allowed me the freedom to go out and create my future and my life. So I'm trying to share that with you today. I became a full-time real estate entrepreneur in 2008 to 2016. I achieved a FIRE in my mid 30s. And then I just by investing in single family residences and condominiums. And then I then took a sabbatical to really contemplate what would make me feel. So that's why I started my consulting company. And I'm going to share with you knowledge and the tips and the secrets on how I do. I'm now a TEDx speaker, write regularly for Kevin MD. I've written 4 books. I've been a speaker at the Seek and Passive Income and Peace Leveraging Growth Summit. I have my own online course, private Facebook group, and also an advisor to an early stage AI-based healthcare startup. And I'm doing these, I host these webinars and masterminds throughout the year. I do a lot of private coaching, but because my time is limited, I've started to do more webinars and online boot camps. It's more efficient and I can scale my time and effort and I can put more clients and I can take them from where they currently are to where they want to be. And that's the best way I've seen to both leverage and scale my time and efforts. I want you guys to take a look at this chart of the Dow over the last 3 months. And we are living in unprecedented times. So in no time in history are we living with such uncertainty in terms of our future, incomes, jobs, our security, our well-beings. Recently, after COVID-19, we have these riots now. And in particular, we see the medical profession getting taken over by managed care. And now a lot of private equity is starting to take over these physician practices. So what you're going to see is that with uncertainty comes opportunity. And you're going to see that this next decade, the people that start to take action and start to diversify the income streams and start to learn more and start to think outside the box are going to flourish. And it's going to be the decade of the creative entrepreneur. In particular, you're going to see that our profession right now is our autonomy, independence, authority is eroding. Managed care, the government, insurance companies are all commoditizing our skill set, knowledge, and labor, making us easily replaceable. So at the peak, for example, COVID-19, hospitals needed physicians, but they couldn't afford to pay them. So they were asking for volunteers. At the same time, they were furloughing and firing physicians. On top of that, the higher ups, they were working remotely and walking away with millions in bonuses. In this age, we have to get smarter. We have to start thinking better. Medicine is the only profession that I know of where it's just a linear path. And it's like you get on the path and you do certain things to make you successful. But that's not going to be very relevant in the next 10 to 20 years. So the only job certainty that we have today is that we have to create our own job certainty. And consulting is the best way to be doing that. So now is the best time to be considering and building alternative streams of income, particularly in consulting. So I'm going to start a poll here. Where is everybody in terms of their career journey? Still working, looking to diversify my income streams, not working, need to diversify my income streams, or already have multiple streams of income. Majority are still working and looking to diversify my income streams. And this is the best position to be in because consulting is a great field. Either you want to go out on your own or you can create your own niche within your existing ecosystem. Not working, need to diversify my income streams. We're going to work with you. The better prepared you are, the more successful you'll be. And then 7% already have multiple streams of income. So that's fantastic. And so you're thinking outside the box, you're getting ready, you're getting prepared, and you're going to flourish when the opportunities come. All right. So now we're going to get into the idea of what is a consultant. Broadly, I just put this definition. It is a person who provides expert advice or opinion. So a consultant is almost like a liaison. He or she gives their advice or opinion to different parties in order to achieve particular outcomes. In the way you're like what Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins describe as knowledge brokers. So knowledge consultants or knowledge reporters. So you're basically transferring knowledge between different parties and getting in the process. So let's start another poll here. And I want to ask each of you, where are you in your consulting journey? One is, I have no clue where to start, need help, or I have a fair idea and just looking to learn more. Okay, so the majority are no clue. I have no idea where to start. I need help. You're perfect because you're the perfect people that I can work with because I can mold and shape and work with your mindsets and your skill sets and develop a personalized strategy for you. The others, for example, the ones that have more experience, I can work with you in terms of your consulting idea or your plan and how to best strategize, how to best put it forward and how to best implement it. So let's go through the different types of consultants here. So the beautiful thing about the different types of consultants is there's so many field is broad. As I said, you're like an intermediary. So a couple of the niches that you can potentially think about transitioning in terms of your medical background is you can be an expert witness. So a lot of physicians, they leverage their knowledge of best practices and they consult for either defense or prosecution attorneys, and they get paid very well for it in terms of case. It can also help you in your practice once you go back so that you can best advocate for those practices and avoid getting sued yourself. If you're interested in research and writing, there's medical liaison. So that's a consult. You're consulting for various research projects, various articles. Sometimes you're covering events, you're writing, you're creating videos. There's file review, pharma, medical device, pretty much anything where there's a niche or a need. And pretty much it's going to depend on how well you think outside the box, how well you leverage your opportunities and your skill sets and your network. So the more creative you can be, the more successful you'll be. And pretty much there's no limitation in terms of field or niche that you can potentially pursue. I've also known physicians that do, for example, they start wellness spas. They're into IV hydration, the vitamins, CBD. There's a lot of wellness. There's athletic performance. There's coaching. There's so many. That's the beauty of it. You have such a great skill set. You have great education, experience, knowledge. We all take care of patients. We're all treating patients, so that you can leverage those skill sets into different niches as a consultant. So here's I'm going to go into the most common question that I got from my audience was, what can I consult? What I recommend is a consulting career isn't going to be a straight linear path that we're all used to, where you go through residency, fellowship, get your job, and that sort of thing. Consulting job and a career is going to be, one, you have to get your foot in the door. Two, you're going to have to start small and you're going to have to work your way. There's going to be a lot of rejection, a lot of no's. So part of my program is where I take the client and do an assessment, work on their mindsets. I then transform their skill sets and come up with a strategy. And then we make it permanent so that when they go forward in the next years, they'll be prosperous and successful. The other thing is, the beauty of consulting is that it's a perfect fit for entrepreneurs, self-employed, if you go out on your own. If you're going to stay within your hospital or your department or your particular specialty, you can always develop a niche brand within that. The other question I get is from the big name firms. Being a freelance consultant is a lot different than working for McKinsey, Accenture, and Deloitte. So a lot of my colleagues work for those big name firms, but the focus here is more on developing a consulting niche that you can create on your own and go out on. Extremely flexible. So as a physician, you can go out or you can stay within your existing ecosystem. Pretty much anything you can think of, you can consult on. I want to go into some of the mindsets that hold us back. So one is, as physicians, I hear a lot, I'm only good at patient care. Two is that I'm not good at anything, or I don't know what to do. And all of these mindsets really you're shooting yourself in the foot, because what it is that we're so used to pleasing people and being yes, and just because we're altruistic. So we get taken advantage of by the bureaucrats in the system. So a lot of these self-deprecating mindsets, we have to really identify them. And once we identify them, we have to learn how to manage them or get rid of them. A lot of it is just ingrained in our profession, in our mindset. The other thing is that as physicians, we're the straight A students and we're got the highest grades in all the test scores. But the world, those who succeed are those who can employ and leverage their skill sets in a much more efficient and effective way. Working for someone isn't really going to get you where you need to be. You need to start thinking as an entrepreneur, as a businessman or a businesswoman, how to create your own streams of income so that you become less reliant upon people and jobs and things like that. But there's also mindsets that we've developed as physicians that can really help us in terms of in our careers, particularly consulting. So one is we're very driven, we're goal-oriented, we're hardworking, we are honest, we're trustworthy, we do good, we're highly educated, we're highly trained, we save people's lives. So all of these types of mindsets we need to take and we need to harness them and we need to really ingrain them into our identities so that when the time comes, we're able to leverage that instead of self-deprecating ourselves and holding us back. The next question I get is, where do I even begin or how do I get started? So that's pretty much 80% of everybody. And that's a great question. And I'm glad that every single one of you took the action to come in to try and learn more. So one is you have to have something invested. So you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to YouTube, but those are just supplements. You really have to have someone to either show you the ropes or have an online course. But you have to have some sort of investment. It's a systematic process. When I first started out in 2008, when I went out as a full-time entrepreneur, that was back in 2008, there were no physician coaches. The first physician coach came around 2010, which was before. And when she came, it was 150 per hour for one session. If I had done that back in 2008, I would have saved me 2 to 3 years off of my learning. So that's the sort of thing. You have to have someone who can see from the outside that can help you. I'm going to go through some of the mindsets or personality traits to help you get started. So first thing you have to realize is that once you understand consulting is not just a straight linear path, and it's pretty much open to any opportunities that you can create, figure out your interest and your passion. And what really set me apart was that I developed a skill set that I could be the best at, which was leverage my personal brand, leverage my experience, and to share it and give it back to you guys. So, and that's what sets me apart from all of the others. That's why I have raving fans. That's why I have people that come to me that have a very inspiring story. And I really want to share and give it back to others. Because back in 2008, I was all alone up until about 2016 when all of these groups came. So we live in this world where there's so much information and content. It's fantastic, but we have to implement and take action on that information. If you guys are interested in staying within your existing ecosystem, ask yourself, what skills do you have that you can leverage within your existing ecosystem? So is it networking? Is it have a particular legal slant? Are you good at writing? Are you good at speaking? Are you good at creating videos, educational content? There's so many different niches and avenues. So you have to figure out how you best want to contribute and add your own personal slant to that. What expertise can you best leverage? Whether that's surgical, it can be medical, pharma, all of these will help you on your way. I won't sugarcoat it. In the beginning, starting out is going to be hard. It took me about 6 months to a year of knocking on doors before I got my first huge consulting client. Before that, it was all just word of mouth and getting my foot in the door, leveraging my brand, my network, my expertise, getting a lot of value, learning. And at the same time, there were a lot of no's. I got a lot of rejections. Sometimes people didn't respond to my phone calls or emails. So in the beginning, for the first year, it's going to be tough. But once you get your mindset and your business and your brand going, it compounds on itself. So the second and third year, last year, I was able to work only 3 months out of the year for the brand and the experience. And the rest of the year, I spent investing the money in personal investments. So you have to really go at it with passion and you have to be able to just tolerate rejection. I know as physicians, it's always anything where it's like you're rejected, it's a negative thing. But in the business, in the entrepreneurial world, rejection is actually a good thing because it accelerates your learning. And then the question is, what skills do I need to be successful as a consultant? The one thing is for your mindset, like I said, you have to have outside the box thinking. You have to be creative. You have to spot opportunities. So whenever you spot things like COVID-19 or the financial crisis or 9/11, you have to become opportunity instead of running away in fear. So that's the one thing that sets very successful consultants apart from the rest. They're always looking for the opportunities within the turmoil. A lot of successful consultants are innovative. They're forward thinking. They think outside the box. They're able to create value. That's one thing, be able to spot and create value as opposed to just working for the income. Here are some key skill sets that really helps me as a consultant. Number one is networking. Jim Rohn or someone said that your net worth is your network. So if you have a strong network, you're able to draw upon that or able to draw upon that skill set, that experience, those contacts, and it's going to give you an edge up over someone who doesn't have as strong of a network. So that helped me in the beginning. So developing a strong network and also a strong platform. Communication skills, especially speaking, public speaking, presenting, writing, just networking. The better communication skills, the better customer relationship skills you have, the more successful you're going to be. Because as a consultant, you have to be able to communicate ideas effectively in a very succinct manner, in very empathic manner. And then the consultants that will really thrive in the next decade are those that are good with technology, social media, branding, so influencing and persuading people. So those are some of the key skill sets that I've developed to be successful. And that I think that are really crucial to make it as a consultant. And also notice that there's nowhere where it's like an academic or skill set, because academic skill sets will get you in the door and things like that. But these skill sets will take you to the next level. And I'm just going to do a little bit of transition here. So 2020, we've seen a ton of disruption and it's not going to get any better. As I stated, 2020 to 2030 is going to be the decade of the creative entrepreneur. And that's the one who's going to really flourish and thrive, because we're now at an age where the industrial age ideas and all the practices are becoming obsolete. So it's up to us to take the information. We have to adapt, we have to innovate and change, or we're going to become irrelevant. So we've seen it with COVID-19. We've seen it with AI, with blockchain. All of these things are going to really revolution and transform our society today. So it's really up to us to really embrace those change and adapt. Because if we face those changes with fear, then we're just going to basically be reverting back to our primal selves. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that webinar segment and got a ton of free value from it. If you're looking for more resources to help you on your financial freedom journey, we've got plenty to offer. You can book a coaching call with us for personal guidance or explore our range of digital courses, e-products, workshops, books, and audiobooks, all designed to help you grow and succeed. And if you want to stay connected and continue learning, make sure to follow us on social media. Just click on the links below to stay updated with our latest content and resources. Thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to working with you.